Hey, yo, welcome back. Let's get into some entertainment talk. You know, the Golden Globes made their return to television after a 2-year hiatus. We reported actually in season 1 that the Golden Globes would not be on television because of a lack of diversity. NBC had pulled, they have the exclusive contract to air the Golden Globes on their network, and they had decided not to because of a lack of diversity. All of this was in the wake of the George Floyd tragedy that took place. And so they apparently took 2 years off to get it together, and we saw a lot of diversity on the show, from Gerard Carmichael being the host to a lot of the wins that took place from the cast of Abbott Elementary and Eddie Murphy and a bunch of other people. But what do you all think about the Golden Globes as a whole? Did you watch? What did you think of the host? Go.
So the Golden Globes is traditionally not a really award show I feel like our community really gravitates towards, but I was excited.
But they drink a lot.
We
drink on the show.
But there's no, we want the music, we want the dance, we want the fashions, all that. But there were some amazing moments, and people, I was definitely rooting for, and a great trend, like in Twitter, have you seen where they're like, when a black presenter, you already know when a black person won the category, because the black person be like giving it away, and I was like, there were so many of those moments, and Niece Nash like, because keep the black girl magic going, and here you are, like, announce these amazing winners, and the diversity that they needed was definitely there, and so it made it interesting because there's people who I've been rooting for years, and Ben had a Golden Globe, honey, Ben EGOT, Ben, all these things are finally getting their recognition, and watching those moments really is validating for me, for other people out there, like you can actually see yourself at the next level.
Yes. I look at a night like that and I call it a colorful night. It was a night full of color. We were represented. We not only were nominated, but we won. And when I say we, I'm talking about black people. We did have a black host, Gerard Carmichael. I was not pleased with. I think
that's putting it lightly for you.
Because if the people really heard what you were saying backstage in the dressing room,
I can say it on air. I can say it on air. I think that he was a terrible host for several reasons. I think his jokes did not land. I think that he was very insensitive on some topics. I feel like he's too new in the game to make certain jokes. Eddie Murphy can make a joke about Will Smith. Eddie Murphy been coming up before Will Smith. Eddie Murphy is iconic. You can't make a joke about Will. I did not like the joke he made about Will. I did not like how he started to go to Globes off cussing and fussing. And I think it was just a bad representation of us having somebody like that host. And I mean it.
I will say this. So I am a fan of his television show that's no longer on the air. It was also on NBC called The Carmichael Show. It was a really good show.
I think they made the show.
And that's where because of that show is how I ended up having Thanksgiving dinner with Tiffany Haddish, but we'll talk about that on another episode. But what I was
casually just dropping.
I'm just dropping names this season too. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
But what I did love about the monologue, I felt like it was honest. It might have been insensitive, but look at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is always insensitive, and he continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. There's always backlash, but he continues on. Gerard Carmichael, he literally stated the obvious. I'm here because I'm black. That is the truth. We knew that the Golden Globes was going to have a black host. They had no choice but to either have a black or Latino host, and I figured they were going to go the black route, and he just called that out. Now, his jokes may have been a little, and in my opinion, I call them NBC jokes, right? They're not the jokes that you're going to see on ABC or HBO that usually land right dead center in the middle of the black community. NBC, in my opinion, when it comes to their comedy, they're a little center to the left, which, the comedy's a little...
I feel like his comedy is dry at times. I feel like he has a dry sense of humor, but nothing about the way he hosted the Golden Globes made me think that he deserved to be there. I'm sorry.
Okay. What did he say? He was like, I didn't think I'd spend so much of my time telling y'all to shut the F up. I was like...
In the beginning, and I was like, was that my love? Was that the way to start the show? Oh my gosh. Like
the fashions were great. His whoever did his looks, they were impeccable. Because we're there partly for fashion too. We enjoy the fashion moments of it. At least I enjoy it. Everyone looked amazing. Rihanna was there.
Rihanna was there. Yeah. And I mean, the shout out that he gave to Rihanna, I think everybody gave to Rihanna, was great.
Everybody was talking. They got that mic. It was they time to talk to Rihanna.
Yeah. I almost would have loved to have seen. Even though Abbott Elementary was nominated and won so many awards, I would have also loved to see each one of them kind of host a different segment of the show. And I feel like that would have been cool. The whole cast is phenomenal. It's a colorful cast. I would love to have seen something like that, like spread the hosting responsibilities out. Let's give these amazing actors and comedians.
Like they did, is that the Oscars where they had Regina Hall and
Amy Schumer and all of them. And I kind of like that. Yeah. But yeah, he missed the mark.
One of the things that I enjoyed was a moment where someone used their privilege to honor another person. So we all know Ryan Murphy is, American Horror Stories, Pose, all that. And last year, the last few years it hasn't been televised. Last year, MJ Rodriguez was the first woman to win, and this kind of first trans woman to win. Yeah. And he took his moment, which, I mean, I don't think people understand how huge that is. This is your time. You are on the Golden Globe stage. You took your moment, stopped everyone and said, we must recognize this moment for her. Yes. Everyone, please give her a standing ovation. She's here as my guest. I had her come, just so she can have her moment, and because she otherwise it would have never been visible. So the fact that he did that, as in his position, like, kudos.
I love Ryan Murphy. Hire me.
That was definitely a great moment, and we got more great moments right here on Talk It Up. We'll be right back.
NBT, bringing the culture together.